Hey mamas, what we're talking about today is surprisingly controversial. Should you keep your children's allergies in your home or not? For us, in the early days, the answer was simple, but there are reasons to go either way here. Today, we're going to break it down, look at both sides, and I'm going to give you 5 things to consider when you're deciding if you should keep your child's allergen in your home. Let's get to it. Hey food allergy mama. If you're here, you've likely experienced the scary and lonely food allergy diagnosis with your child. Unfortunately, food allergy parents aren't taught how to navigate the food allergy lifestyle, and it's easy to feel alone and discouraged sometimes. But I'm here to show you that food allergy life doesn't have to feel restrictive, scary, or isolated. I'm Corinna, and I'm a 17-year food allergy mom and food allergy coach at Friendly Pantry Consulting. I specialize in making food allergy life safer and less worrisome for food allergy families like yours. I'm not perfect, but over 17 years, I've learned a lot the hard way, and I'm sharing the secrets and resources you won't hear anywhere else that will help you feel confident living with food allergies faster and easier than I did. From introducing allergens, travel, navigating school, and educating friends and family, this podcast will give you the essential tips and strategies you need to help your food allergy child and family thrive. Welcome to the show. Guess what? My oldest daughter got a car. I can't believe that she's off to university this year. My mama heart is just, it's full, but it's also, I just can't believe that things have gone so fast, that all those years have just quickly slipped away and she's off to university. But getting her car has set off a series of events in our house. First, we had to sell the basketball hoop that was on our driveway, and next we knew we had to clean out our garage. We wanted to give her a place to park so that when the cold winter comes, she wouldn't have to scrape her car windows every morning. Let me tell you, our garage really needed the clean out. It seemed like chaos at first. We're talking outdoor toys hanging off the shelves, broken Christmas decorations taking up space, not to mention all the old sporting goods that were hanging around. Nothing had a home and things were everywhere. It's no surprise that it took a couple of days to weed through that grimy mess. A big part of the job was organizing things so that everything had a home. Let me tell you, hubby and I had 1 or 2 disagreements about this over 2 days, but we got it figured out in the end. Another big part of the job was figuring out what to keep and what to get rid of. There were many things we were holding on to that just didn't serve our needs anymore. Think kids' scooters, bubble wands, broken Christmas decorations. So we made 3 piles. One was a garbage pile, one was to donate, and one was to sell. It was a tiring weekend, but it felt so good when it was done. Keeping your child's allergens in the house can feel a lot like a messy garage. Unless you have a place for everything and you keep on top of what's serving you and get rid of what's not, it can feel a bit chaotic. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it or that it won't work for your family, because it may be the best thing. As I mentioned earlier, the answer to this was easy for our family. When my girls were young, we didn't keep any allergens in our home. But things have evolved as my daughter's gotten older and as she's become able to tolerate small amounts of her allergen because of OIT treatment. Side note, if you're interested in learning about our OIT journey, go back to episode number 22 and check that out if you're interested. But I don't think there's a right or a wrong for this, and it's just what's going to work best for your family. So if you go through these things, make a decision, and then you see someone on social media doing something different, don't feel bad. I think it's important that you think it through and do what's best, and that might change as time goes on. I know it has for us, because we started strictly no allergens in the home, but we have them there now, but of course with precautions in place. So let's go through the 5 things to consider as you make this decision. The first one is how your home feels. And as I mentioned, we kept both of my girls' allergens out of the home for a long time, and there's a few reasons for this. We really didn't want to have to worry about allergens. We wanted our home to be our safe space where we could just shut off our brains so we didn't have to be on guard. We knew we would have to be on guard all the time outside our home, so we wanted a place where we could fully relax. So how do you want your home to feel? Take that as a consideration for sure. Number 2, how are you going to teach your child about their allergens? Here's a surprising fact. Did you know that anxiety attacks can mimic anaphylaxis? Anxiety attacks can give you trouble breathing, they can cause nausea, diarrhea, increased heart rate, and skin flushing. It's not exactly like anaphylaxis, but it sounds similar, right? Because of the similarity, I want to show my daughter that she can be around her allergens so she is less at risk of having a panic attack. I want to show her that just being near her allergen is not going to cause harm, and that by using good habits like washing her hands, cleaning surfaces, not touching her face, she can actually control whether she ingests her allergen or not. Now, of course, there's scenarios where there can be airborne reactions, like if you have a milk allergy and the milk is being steamed, or you have a fish allergy and the fish is being cooked. But for the most part, my daughter doesn't have to fear being near her allergen if it isn't being propelled into the air. If you've heard something different from a Facebook group or a fear-based social media post, I want to put your mind at ease. I'm going to post links to a couple of articles from trusted sources about airborne anaphylaxis so you can see where I'm getting this information from. Check out the show notes because I think that's going to help you feel much better about airborne anaphylaxis. But the point I'm making here is that it's important to teach kids about their allergen and let them feel comfortable being around it so they don't develop an extreme fear just from seeing the allergen and knowing it's around them. So whether you do this by keeping it in the home or you're just showing it to them when you're going to the grocery store or something else, I think it's important. Number 3 is what stage your child is at. So keeping your child's allergen in the house is a bit like keeping poison in the house. There are lots of household poisons that we make sure we keep out of reach of our kids. So the question is whether you feel you can keep the allergens away from your child or if it seems just too difficult for the stage they're in. This leads us to the next consideration, which is number 4, how will you avoid accidental ingestion? If you choose to keep allergens in the house, you are going to have to take other precautions, whether that's keeping them on a high shelf or locking the cabinet or something else. It's not just when you're at home, but you're also going to want to consider a babysitter or a caregiver when you're not at home and how you're going to keep them from accidentally giving the allergens to your child. The other consideration, number 5, is other family members' diets. Now, this is a big one and it can swing the decision big time. For example, do other kids in the family need to keep the allergen in their diet to avoid an allergy? So when my oldest daughter had egg and milk allergies, she was a baby or like a toddler and preschooler, we didn't keep her allergens in the house. At that time, we had no idea that introducing allergens early and keeping them in kids' diet was really important. So we didn't think anything of not giving the allergen to my youngest daughter. Honestly, I don't even remember when I introduced eggs and milk to her. I know I did, but I just kind of introduced it and I don't think I really did anything to keep it in her diet until my oldest outgrew her allergies. So we are very lucky that she didn't develop an egg or milk allergy. Fast forward to several years later, and now we know how important it is to not only introduce kids to allergens early, but we need to keep it in their diets too. Now that parents know this important fact, we can do better because we know better. And that makes this a very important consideration when you're deciding if you're going to keep allergens in the home or not. As a side note, if you're struggling with introducing allergens to your younger sibling because you're worried they might have an allergy or they might have a serious reaction, I have a really great workshop that has already helped so many food allergy families. It's called Get Over the Fear of Trying New Foods. It's perfect if you already know that you want to introduce a new food, but you just need a bit of encouragement to actually do it. I'm going to post the link to that in the show notes so you can get the help you need because it's so important. So I hope these 5 considerations are helpful for you so that you can make the right decision for your family. Let me know. Send me a DM on Instagram or leave a comment here and let me know how you feel about keeping allergens in your home. I love hearing from you. Thanks for listening and bye for now. Before you go, Mama, if you love this episode and want deeper support, head over to friendlypantry.com to see how we can partner together to keep your food allergy child safer and worry less. There's no need for wasting time searching all over Instagram, TikTok, and the web to get the practical knowledge you need for your family. While you're there, grab your free Food Allergy Kids Empowerment Guide or the newly diagnosed checklist today. Topics are not medical advice and are the opinions, views, and property of Friendly Pantry Consulting Incorporated. All rights reserved. Always contact your board-certified allergist immunologist for health advice.